There are tons of handguns out there that you can use for duty, but if you want to cut away the crap and simply want to see the best and most solid ones in the block, you gotta take a look at what I've included here. What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ted from Line45, and today you are about to see the most impressive 9mm handguns highly rated for duty use this 2025. Before anything else, let me do this quick plug. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, all the buttons that you can see below. Don't forget to leave a comment too. I know it feels like a hassle, but those things help my channel a lot. Now let's get back to the good stuff. Springfield Armory Echelon. Springfield dropped the Echelon with one thing in mind, and that is giving duty shooters a pistol that's built from the ground up for real-world use. This isn't a parts bin gun or a warmed-up version of something old. It's a full-size, striker-fired 9mm that was clearly designed for the guy who's carrying every day, training hard, and needs a sidearm that won't quit when things get rough. Everything about it, from how it's built, how it mounts optics, to how it handles recoil, makes it feel like it was purpose-built for duty carry from day one. What sets the Echelon apart right away is the serialized chassis system they're calling the Central Operating Group, or COG. Think of it like Springfield's version of SIG's fire control unit. It's a stainless steel internal chassis that houses the whole fire control system, which includes the trigger, striker, and safeties. That's the actual serialized part, and it drops right into the grip module. So if you want to change frame sizes down the line, you just pop the chassis into a different grip module. No need to redraws or reserialize anything. It's super modular, super clean, and built like a tank. The slide and barrel are both stainless and treated with melanite, so you're getting a hard, corrosion-resistant finish that holds up to real-world carry. Sweat, grime, weather, holster wear, you name it. The barrel is 4.5 inches, and the whole slide assembly is about 7.75 inches long, so it's a full-size setup. That means you're getting a longer sight radius, better recoil control, and full performance out of your defensive ammo. I've run everything from 115 grain plinking rounds to plus P 124 grain duty loads in this thing, and it handled them all without a hiccup. Now the optics system on this gun. Since that's where it really stands out. They call it the VIS, or Variable Interface System, and it's hands down one of the best factory optics cut setups out there right now. You don't need adapter plates for most optics. Instead, they've got 4 recoil posts and self-locking pins that you configure based on the optic footprint. It mounts directly, sits low, and locks up solid. Whether you're running an RMR, a Holosun, or a DPP, it just works. And it doesn't shoot loose after 1,000 rounds like some janky plate system. This setup is duty tough. The sights are solid too. You've got steel U-notch rears and a tritium front sight with a luminescent ring, and they're co-witness ready if you've got a dot. They're not just slapped on there either. They're properly cut, tough as hell, and high enough to get a clean sight picture with most optics while still being usable on their own. The grip texture is aggressive, but not in a way that shreds your hands. They call it adaptive texture, and it's pressure sensitive, so it grips harder the more you clamp down. Feels like it was made for hard use without being uncomfortable for long-range days. The trigger guard undercut is deep, and you get a good beaver tail, so you can really choke up high and control the gun when you're working fast strings. Plus, the grip frame comes with different backstraps so you can dial in the fit depending on your hand size. Controls are completely ambidextrous. The slide stop, the mag release, all of it. No flipping parts or swapping sides. It's mirrored from the factory, and it actually works. The mag release has a nice feel to it, and mags drop free clean every time. The trigger's one of the better factory striker-fired triggers out there too. It's flat-faced, clean break around 4.5 to 5 pounds, short and crisp reset. Not spongy, not gritty, just a solid, predictable press that makes it easy to stay accurate under speed. Mags are steel, and you're getting 17+1 with the standard flush mags, or 20+1 with the extended ones. I've had zero issues feeding, locking, or dropping. The feed lips are tough, the followers slick, and you can slam them in even when fully loaded without worrying about a bad seat. Shooting it feels damn good. The bore axis is nice and low, the slide has good weight without being sluggish, and the gun tracks straight. You don't get much muzzle flip, so you can keep the front sight in view through recoil and just run it. Even when you push it hard, it doesn't get squirrely or out of control. All said and done, the Echelon's easily one of the best full-size 9mm striker-fired pistols you can get your hands on for duty work. It's tough, it's modular, it's optics-ready in a way that actually makes sense, and it's built to run. Glock 49. So Glock finally gave us what a lot of guys in law enforcement and security have been asking for: a full-size slide on a compact frame. That's the Glock 49. It's built for duty use right out of the box. You get the shootability, accuracy, and recoil control of a G17 slide, but with the smaller G19 grip that's easier to carry, easier to conceal under a duty shirt or vest, and quicker to draw in tight spaces. For a duty pistol, that's a big deal. It's giving you full-size performance without the full-size bulk, and when you're carrying all day, every ounce and inch matters. I've shot a lot of Glocks over the years, from the 19s and 17s up to the 34s, but the 49 feels like the sweet spot. You get that 4.49-inch barrel, the same as the G17, and the slide length is identical. But because it's sitting on the shorter G19 grip, it tucks in nicer against the body. That makes a huge difference if you're running it concealed under a jacket doing plainclothes work, or even just trying to cut down on bulk for a duty rig. Now it's a Gen 5, so you're getting all the stuff that actually makes a difference. No finger grooves, which I'm glad they finally ditched. You get that mild flare at the mag well for faster reloads, the new Marksman barrel that got tighter lockup and better accuracy, and that slick DLC finish on the slide, and barrel that holds up better to sweat grime and holster wear. I've run Gen 5s hard, and that coating doesn't flake or dull like older finishes used to. This one is also MOS ready. And I mean truly ready, cut from the factory, fits the Glock MOS plate system, so you can throw on an RMR, Holosun, or whatever you like. I know a lot of departments are moving to red dots, and this thing's set up for it right out of the gate. It co-witnesses with the right irons, and you don't have to deal with sending slides off or janky aftermarket cuts. The trigger is basically what you can expect from modern Glocks. If you've shot a Gen 5, you know the deal. Flat-face trigger shoe, less creep than Gen 4, crisper break, and that audible tactile reset we all look for. No, it's not a match trigger out of the box, but for duty or defensive use, it's more than decent. Now, one of the best things about the G49 is how it shoots. That longer slide adds a little extra weight up front, so it balances better than a regular 19. You get a smoother recoil impulse, and follow-up shots come faster because the muzzle just doesn't rise as much. It's not as jumpy as a short slide gun, especially when you're running hotter plus P-duty ammo, or something like 124 grain HSTs. And because of the longer barrel, you're getting a bit more velocity, which helps expansion and penetration if you're talking terminal performance. In terms of reliability, it's certainly a Glock. It's boring in the best way. You feed it garbage ammo, and it runs. You run it wet, dry, suppressed, filthy, it still runs. The longer slide helps here too, especially if you've got a light mounted or you're running a can. You're getting more dwell time and slower slide velocity, and that just makes it smoother and more forgiving with cycling. Honestly, you don't need to do much to it. Out of the box, it's set up right. You're getting full-size shootability in a more compact footprint, optic capability, Gen 5 reliability, and Glock's track record. That's why I say it's one of the best 9mm duty pistols out there right now. It's not trying to impress you with gimmicks, it's just built to do the job every time, without a fuss. Smith & Wesson MP9 M2.0 metal. When Smith & Wesson dropped the M&P9 M2.0 metal, I immediately could tell right away this wasn't just a cosmetic upgrade. They built this thing for serious use, and I mean real carry, real recoil, and real-world abuse. For guys running a pistol on duty, this gun checks a lot of boxes. It's full-size, all-metal, optic-ready, and it has the kind of trigger and handling that makes a difference when you're putting in real range time or working under pressure. Everything about it feels like it was made for people who actually carry a gun for a living. They didn't just throw metal on it for looks either. The frame's finished in tungsten gray Cerakote, and that paired with the Armornite-treated slide and barrel gives you a pistol that will take a beating. The gun weighs about 30 ounces unloaded, so it's obviously heavier than the polymer version, but that's actually a good thing when you're behind the trigger. It eats recoil better, stays flatter, and just tracks nicer during rapid fire. That makes a big difference when you're doing long training days or working under stress. Its barrel is 4.25 inches long, which is the standard full-size length, and the whole gun measures around 7.4 inches long, so it fits into duty holsters with no fuss. It has deep front and rear slide serrations, which I always appreciate when you're running it in the rain or with gloves. And yeah, it's optic ready out of the box with the core plate system, so you can mount pretty much any red dot you want, RMRs, Holosuns, whatever you run. And the tall white 3-dot steel sights it comes with actually co-witness with most dots, and they're built tough. You can rack off a belt or boot all day long and not worry about knocking the sights loose. Grip texture is that same aggressive M2.0 pattern, and it locks your hand in without chewing it up. They give you 4 back straps, so you can really get the fit dialed depending on your hand size or gloves. The undercut trigger guard helps you get that nice high grip, and paired with the low bore axis, it really helps keep that muzzle in check. Now the flat face trigger they're running in this model is way better than the old hinged ones. It got a clean break, a short reset, and none of that mushy nonsense. Its break is around 4.5 to 5 pounds, and it's definitely something I can call consistent. Is it not a match trigger but for a duty gun? It's right where it needs to be. You can run it fast and still keep rounds where they need to go. Controls are ambidextrous slide stop and reversible mag release, so whether you're lefty or gotta switch sides mid-run, you're good to go. Mags are steel 17 rounders, slick feeding, easy to seat under pressure, and they drop free without any hang-ups. It reloads clean every time, that's what I can assure you. So yes, the M&P9 M2.0 metal just feels built for real use. It's rugged, it has great balance, the trigger is tight, the ergos are spot on, and it gives you the durability of metal without turning into a boat anchor. Whether you're on patrol, working private security, or just want a full-size gun that won't quit, this one's worth a hard look. Sig Sauer, P226, Legend. Most of us are no longer strangers to the Sig P226 Legion. This isn't just another full-size 9mm. If you're running a gun for duty, serious home defense, or just want something that's rock solid with no compromises, this one's earned its spot. I've carried a bunch of different pistols, but the Legion version of the P226 just hits differently. It's one of those guns that actually lives up to the rep. First off, you gotta understand where the P226 comes from. This thing's been around since the 1980s, built originally for the US military trials. It didn't win the contract, but Navy SEALs still picked it up, and that says a lot. It proved itself in combat, overseas deployments, and rough duty cycles. The Legion model picked up from the original P226, took the warhorse and tightened everything up with factory upgrades that actually matter. The frame's anodized aluminum alloy paired with a stainless steel slide, so it has the rigidity where it counts but doesn't feel like you've got a cinder block on your belt. That Legion Gray Cerakote Elite finish, it's tough as nails. Doesn't flake, doesn't wear off fast, and shrugs off holster drag, sweat, and grime. Its weight is around 34 ounces, so you've got enough mass to soak up recoil, but not enough to be a pain to carry. Grip work is one of the most impeccable aspects of this gun. The front strap and trigger guard are checkered nice and deep. It locks your grip in without chewing your hand up, and those G10 grips are contoured just right. Good texture and a great hand feel. And that Legion medallion is a subtle nod that this isn't just a stock SIG. The beaver tail has been trimmed down from older P226, which I really like. Lets you choke up high on the grip for better control without making it print more if you're carrying it under a shirt or duty jacket. That higher grip changes how the gun tracks. It feels flatter and more planted shot to shot. Now, the trigger. This thing is where you start seeing the Legion really separate itself. It's running SIG's SRT or short reset trigger, so after that initial double action pull, which is around 10 pounds but smooth as can be, the reset is stupidly short. We're talking right around 0.3 inches. After that, the single action brake is clean, about 4.5 pounds. It's crisp, mechanical, and deliberate. You can run it fast without outrunning the gun. If you're coming from striker fired, it'll feel a little different, but in a good way. You've got that positive wall and a firm reset you can actually feel. Slide action is buttery. No grit, no drag, or whatever. Serrations are cut just right. Enough bite without being cheese graters. Even if you're gloved up or soaked in sweat, you can run it with confidence. And yeah, not all P226 Legions are optic ready, but the RXP model is set up for a red dot and comes with co-witness height sights out of the box, so if you're a dot guy, you're covered. As for the sights, the X-Ray 3's Sig uses are excellent. Bright green ring with tritium up front, dimmer tritium vials in the rear. The contrast pulls your eye straight to the front post, which is exactly what you want under stress. These aren't fragile either. They'll hold zero and take a beating. Controls are laid out well. Decocker's in just the right spot, smooth and positive. The slide stop is ambidextrous. The mag release is easy to get to. No weird angles or fumbling. Everything's tight, no play. Feels like the gun was built with duty in mind, not just competition or range use. Accuracy-wise, I'm sure that this thing is no slouch. With factory ammo, I can get 2-inch groups at 25 yards without trying too hard. With premium loads like HST or Gold Dot, you'll see sub 1.5-inch groups if you do your part. The lockup is tight, the slide-to-frame fit is clean, and it feels like everything's been tuned just a little tighter than your standard P226. And then you've got reliability, which is the biggest reason to run a gun like this. The P226 has been around the world and back. It's seen real fights, real deployments, and real dirt. The Legion keeps that same rugged DNA. It'll eat through just about anything. Steel case, brass, suppressed, dry, wet, cold, dirty, it doesn't matter. This is the kind of gun you put in your holster when you know you might need it to save your life. Wesson SFX9 Combat. Wesson Combat is best known for its high-end 1911s, right? Guns that are built crazy tight, super accurate, and usually end up in the hands of serious shooters. But when they dropped the SFX9, they weren't just making another pretty gun to show off at the range. This thing's built to run. It's got that same Wesson fit and finish, but it's made for duty, for EDC, for people who actually carry and shoot their guns hard. It's light, reliable as hell, and it has that 1911 feel without any of the usual downsides. The first thing you'll notice is it's built on Wesson's X-Frame, which is a solid one-piece aluminum frame, not like a modular grip system or something slapped together. They machine the whole lower out of a single chunk of 7075-T6 aluminum, the same stuff you'd see in aircraft or quality ARs. It gives you that solid, tight feel like a steel 1911, but keeps the weight down. You're looking at around 29 ounces unloaded, which is super manageable for carry, especially when you remember this thing holds 15 plus 1. While it's true that this is a double-stack gun, it still feels like a single stack in the hand. Wesson did something really clever with the grip dimensions. It doesn't feel like a Glock 17 or one of those bulky double-stack 1911s. It's slim, it points naturally, and with the X-Tac texturing on the front and back, it just locks into your grip like Velcro without being abrasive. Doesn't matter if your hands are sweaty, gloved, or covered in dirt, this thing sticks. Now let's talk about the slide and how smooth this thing runs. You're looking at a tri-top design, which is kind of squared off with relief cuts to reduce weight, and it got deep X-Tac cocking serrations front and rear. They're cut deep, they're angled right, and you can run manipulations under stress without slipping. Inside that slide is a 4-inch match-grade barrel, fluted chamber, and done in stainless steel with a tapered cone lockup. No barrel bushing, just a precise barrel-to-slide fit. That cone design helps with both lockup and longevity, and accuracy-wise, you're easily in 1.5-inch groups at 25 yards territory, if you're doing your part. It runs on a flat wire recoil spring, which is slick because it lasts way longer than a standard spring, and cycles smoother. It keeps the front end flat when you're running fast pairs, or trying to shoot through tight windows. And its reliability is pretty much rock solid. This gun passed a 2,000 round test with 0 malfunctions, no cleaning, and no added lube. That ain't just marketing fluff. It's actually legit, so whether you're in law enforcement or you're carrying every day, that's the kind of reliability you lean on. The trigger is classic Wesson. You're getting a single action pull, right in the 3.5 to 4.5 pound range, and it breaks clean with barely any take-up. The reset is short, snappy, and audible. You can shoot fast and accurately without needing to baby it. It's not too light for duty use, but crisp enough that you're not fighting it on precise shots. Controls are essentially all bulletproof parts, which include the thumb safety, slide stop, and mag release. They feel positive and tight, but not overly stiff. No mushy safeties or spongy mag buttons here. It's all tuned to run under stress without failure, and it's not going to fall apart after a few thousand rounds like some MIM parts do on cheaper guns. Sights are duty-ready too. You get a concealment battle sight rear, blacked out, no snag, and a fiber optic front that picks up quickly in daylight. The sight picture is wide open for fast acquisition, but still tight enough to get solid hits at 25 yards and beyond. No gimmicks here, just something that works when you need it. The magazines are 15-rounders, steel, smooth feeding, and made for this gun specifically. They seat clean, drop-free, and feed reliably. And the whole gun's finished in Wilson's Armor Tough coating, which is tougher than Cerakote and holds up against sweat, salt, grime, everything you throw at it. Well, I have to tell you that this thing is pricey. It starts around $3,000, but honestly, for what you're getting, that's fair. By all means, you're not buying a Gucci Glock here. You're buying a hand-fitted, combat-ready pistol that's built in the US by folks who actually care about every part that goes into it.